Dubai is one of the most interesting places in the world and has become one of the biggest vacation destinations on anyone's list. One of the most interesting choices Dubai has ever made was to construct a series of islands to add coastline and boost that tourism. Today we're going to talk about Dubai's man-made islands and how exactly they were constructed. Be sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out how much Dubai's newest island cost. And hey, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And slam that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our amazing uploads. How and why the islands were made. Dubai has been one of the top tourist destinations in the world for more than 20 years, and with the number of people moving to Dubai, the United Arab Emirates came to the conclusion that they needed to create more land. This is why the concept to create themed islands came about. These islands would add more beachfront property and attract more tourism to Dubai, and so it seemed like a win-win. So how did they go about making an island? Well, artificial land masses and islands have been around for centuries, if not longer. However, the UAE decided to go about the construction a bit differently than other islands that have been created. Instead of using concrete in their foundation as most other contractors do, these islands were constructed entirely out of sand dredged from the bottom of the Persian Gulf and large stone from the mountains. After dredging the sand from the seafloor, the ships carrying the sand would then transport it to the right location and then use GPS satellites that would spray the sand back into the ocean in very precise and accurate locations to begin forming their islands. This allows them to create the artificial island in any shape or design they choose, and in order to ensure that islands don't suffer from erosion or deterioration due to strong currents, the UAE also designed breakwaters to be set up around the islands that would adjust the current of the water surrounding the islands, while also allowing it to remain circulating. Jumeirah. Jumeirah was the first of the islands to be constructed by the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. Construction began in 2001, and by the time it was finished, the project ended up costing somewhere near $12 billion. This made it the most expensive man-made island in existence, and when you get to look at it, you'll see why it cost so much. The island officially opened to the public in 2008, and as it stands, it's the only one of Dubai's artificial islands to be finished completely. The island was given the name Jumeirah due to the shape of the landmass, which was designed to look like palm trees. In total, there are 17 different fronds that all lead off the trunk, creating a seemingly endless amount of beachfront property. Jumeirah is connected to the mainland of Dubai by a monorail specifically designed to make tourists travel to and from the island easier and more efficient. There is also a single train on the island that runs along the entirety of the trunk of the palm tree. This acts as the sole source of public transportation on Jumeirah. Now, in order for them to connect the uppermost part of the palm tree to the crescent-shaped breakwater surrounding the island, engineers designed an underwater train tunnel that could take tourists to and from the breakwater. This was done by creating a dam and emptying out a section of water, where they then evacuated out enough room for the tunnel. And once the train tunnel was complete and secure, the dam was lifted and water flooded back over top the area. So why would you want to go over to the breakwater? Well, not only is there more beachfront property, but that is also where visitors would find Atlantis, the largest and most popular hotel on the island. The Atlantis is not only home to an aquarium, but it's also connected to the water park, along with an area where tourists can spend time and swim with dolphins. And for those wishing to sleep with the fish, Atlantis also offers a few suites that sit below the surface of the water so you can look out into the sea at night from the safety of your bedroom. Jebel Ali. Even though the construction of Jebel Ali began in 2002, only a year later than Jumeirah, it still has yet to be completed. You see, though construction has begun on the island and the landmass has been formed, the project was halted in 2008, along with many other construction projects following the economic crisis in 2008. Jebel Ali was designed to look exactly like Jumeirah, only it was intended to be about 50% bigger. In the end, To form the massive island, workers dredged over 200 million cubic meters of sand and stone from the Persian Gulf floor. Rumors have begun to circulate that they're saying the construction on the island is slowing because once again, however, it's not anywhere close to being complete. Many investors received full refunds of the money they put into the project after it had been put on hold for this past decade. This hasn't swayed the higher-ups who are working on the project. The United Arab Emirates is adamant that Jebel Ali will be finished, and when it is, it will be magnificent. The World Islands. In 2003, engineers in Dubai presented the World Islands project to the public, and this was truly a work of art. In total, the project involved 300 man-made islands to be perfectly placed in a way that represents different countries and provinces around the world. From above, the islands look as if they're a map of the globe, with each island sitting precisely 100 meters apart from each other. 3 years after construction began, a private contracting company ended up buying more than 60% of the land involved in the project. However, most of them have still never been constructed on. Only 2 of the islands have been finished in 10 years since the start of the project. In 2013, the island of Greenland and the island of Lebanon were debuted, but that was it as far as the World Islands project went. Another organization known as the Kleindienst Group had a different idea for at least 6 of the islands involved in the project. They purchased those 6 islands and renamed them the Heart of Europe. Each of the 6 islands is meant to feel like you're visiting various European countries, including Germany and Venice. One of the islands is even heart-shaped and is said to be the iconic honeymoon destination and is designed to resemble Maldives. In total, the World Islands added more than 144 miles of coastline to Dubai, and in December of 2020, the islands finally received their first group of people moving into the first completed island of the Heart of Europe project. Jumeirah. The Jumeirah project was announced a year after the World Island, and it's easily the most ambitious plan that the UAE and Dubai have come up with when it comes to these islands. In total, the island required more than 1 billion cubic meters of sand to be dredged from the Persian Gulf in order to bring the island to life. Jumeirah is said to be more than 10 times the size of Jumeirah and hopefully 10 times as successful. Over the first 3 years of the project, between 2004 and 2007, more than 20% of the foundation has been laid out. However, a year later, the construction stopped following the economic crash in 2008. Unlike most of the other projects on the table for Dubai, though, Jumeirah decided to shift the project in a different direction. This is when Jumeirah became Deira Islands. This change is designed to prove to be cost-effective and required fewer materials to finish the foundation of the island. The new shape is entirely different from the giant palm that they had planned. As of 2016, the first main island of Deira Islands was opened for the public and acts as one of the biggest fully functional night markets in the entire world. Blue Waters Island. Last but not least, after Jumeirah, the next most successful island that was created in Dubai is known as Blue Waters Island. The design for this island was announced and made public around 2012, and just a year later, construction was fast underway. The Blue Waters Island cost Dubai about $2 billion, but has been seen as more than successful. The island became open to visitors in 2018. It was so popular that nearly 3 million people visited Blue Waters Island in its first year. The biggest attraction on the island is known as the Eye in Dubai and is currently the world's biggest working Ferris wheel. The top of the Eye in Dubai gives visitors the perfect bird's eye view of the surrounding area. When you're at the top, you sit more than 680 feet up in the sky. If you could go to Dubai, what islands would you want to check out? Be sure to let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our uploads.